Good morning, grade 3s. Teacher's quickly going to explain your activities for Monday for your workbook 1, reading and phonics. So the first activity you're doing is activity 40 and you're doing sounds. Fill in the correct sounds. Okay, you're doing the or sound. So it can be a, or a, w. Number 1. One day an author wrote a story about an astronaut. So author and astronauts, you'll use the a. 2. I saw a hawk with large claws. Saw, hawk and claws will have the a, w. 3. There was applause for the awesome show. Applause is the a and awesome is the a, w. 4. August is the month after July. August is the a. 5. He hurt his jaw while playing rugby. Jaw is a, w. 6. My gate is automatic. Automatic, you use a. 7. Please mow the lawn. Lawn is a, w. 8. The pig built its house of straw. Straw is a, w. 9. It is cold because it is winter. Because is a. 10. I have drawn a picture of a palm tree. Drawn is a, w. Okay, then for today also we're doing activity 41, comprehension. So let's read the story and then I'll read through the questions with you. Remember that you have to read the story once, go read through the questions, then you go back and read the story again. Then you go back to the question, then you're going to read the question, what can Robert draw very well? Then you're going to underline the answer and then you write it down. Okay, but for now, teacher's going to read it with you once and read through the questions and you're going to answer the questions by yourself. Robert and Sticks, part 1. Robert sits in class and looks over his shoulder. Connie is behind him. She is drawing a beautiful picture. Robert wishes he could draw like that. All he can draw are stick figures. In Connie's picture, there are mountains, rivers, and trees. Robert sighs and puts down his pencil. He just doesn't like anything to do with art. He stares at the clean sheets of paper in front of him. He'll just draw the one thing he's good at, a stickman. After school, he walks home, wondering whether he should ask his mother to send him to art classes. He always feels bad about himself at school when he has to do art. When Robert comes home, he flops tightly into his chair, takes out his homework and starts working. He finds his picture from class in between his books. He takes it out and puts it on the table. While doing his homework, Robert sees movement on the paper. Did his stickman move? Or is he imagining things? It isn't impossible. It isn't possible. He stares at the paper for a long time, but nothing happens. He feels silly and continues his work. Soon after, his picture moves again. This time, he is very sure about what he saw. He stares at the paper. The stickman is trying to get off the paper. Robert blinks and pinches himself to make sure he isn't dreaming. The man frees himself and sits up. Robert gasps and looks around to see if anyone can see what he sees. But he's all alone in the room. Okay, now let's read through the questions. Then you're going to read the story again and you're going to read the questions again before you write the answers down. 1. What can Robert draw very well? 2. What was in Connie's picture? 3. What was Robert's wish? 4. What did Robert do when he got home? 5. How do you think Robert felt when he saw the stickman moving on the paper? Remember where they ask you how do you think? That answer won't be in the story. You have to go read that part and see what happened, and then you must write down in your own words what you thought Robert was feeling when he saw the stickman moving on the paper. 6. There are 3 underlined words in the text. They are spelled incorrectly. Write down the correct spelling on the lines. Okay, so you'll see that it's around, picture, and stairs. They are spelled incorrectly. 7. This is part 1 of the story. What do you think will happen in part 2? Later in the week, we're going to read and complete part 2. But before we do, you have to write down here what you think is going to happen in the next part of the story. Okay, so read your story 2 times, read the questions 2 times, and then you write the answers down. Love you. Speak to you tomorrow. Bye.